Hey everyone, I'm Chris Parsons from Body by Design, and today I'm going to be reviewing for you Smith's chips. Not only the normal, but also the thinly cut with, as you can see here, 75% less saturated fat. I understand that for most of you watching this, you won't all too necessarily consume chips all that often, but for those of you who prepare your kids' lunches or school lunches and are seeking to put better options or alternatives in their lunchbox, or for those of you who are just wanting to go to the movies or enjoy a friend's company on a Friday night, I can see why buying chips with 75% less saturated fat on the surface might seem pretty good. Does it make sense? Not necessarily, but for those of you who are just beginning your journey and are trying to be conscious of the food choices you make and are wanting a savory hit, I can see why you'd pick them up. Now, more and more products or health food snacks seem to be hitting the supermarket shelves each and every week. It seems as though for every flagship product produced, there's now a healthier alternative also available. You know, soft drinks and their diet varieties, the low fat and reduced sugar options available for your yogurt, and these thinly cut chips with 75% less saturated fat. Now, the health snack food industry has been boosted by the rising consciousness of our health and the participation in gyms, fitness centers, boot camps, or what have you over the past 5 years. And also our concerns about obesity in Australia and just our time constrained lifestyle, creating a demand for convenient and healthier snacks. Obviously, Smiths and many other manufacturers have identified this and are trying to cash in on a trend said to be worth about $1.2 billion in Australia. So let's get into it. We'll talk about the nutritional information and the macronutrient breakdown of that. I'll have those up in the corner for you again. But let's start off with our crinkle cut Smith's potato chips. For the sake of this video, we'll look at average quantity per 100 grams. So the serving size of these crinkle cut chips is 27 grams, or about 15 chips. But as I said, we'll look at the average quantity of, or per 100 grams, just easier for comparison's sake. So energy, we have per 100 grams, 2,290 kilojoules. That works out to be about 548 calories. Protein, 6.7 grams per 100 grams. Total fat, 34.8 grams. Carbohydrates, 50.6. So let's compare that to our thinly cut. Energy, again, average quantity per 100 grams. The serving size is 27 grams, so the same as the normal crinkle cut chips, but you get a few more chips, you get about 18. So energy per 100 grams, we've got 2,290 kilojoules. So that works out again to be about 548 calories. We've got 6.7 grams of protein. Total fat is 34.9 grams. Carbohydrates, 50.6 grams. Now, you didn't just watch that on repeat, and I didn't read the wrong nutritional info. Those two nutritional information panels are the exact same. Exact same energy, exact same protein, exact same total fat. So this had me thinking, if they are the exact same, but this has 75% less saturated fat, then surely this packet must have the same amount of fat, just 75% of that to be less saturated. So let's go back to our crinkle cut and look at the saturated fat content. So of our total fat, 3.5 grams is saturated. Now if we compare that to our thinly cut, of the total fat, in this packet, 3.5 grams of that is saturated. Exactly the same. So when I established this, I thought, well, the serving size must be 75% less if you were to have 75% less saturated fat. But as I said to you earlier, the serving size is the exact same, 27 grams. 15 chips, 18 chips per 27 grams. Now that would be just due to that it is a little bit thinner. So this also had me wondering, how the f is it 75% less saturated fat? So I started looking at, again, the packet for a little bit more detail. So on the front here, we've got no artificial preservatives, colors, flavors, or added MSG. It doesn't do too much for me in regards to the 75% less saturated fat, so I started digging on the back. Now, as you can see here, it says, first we take the best quality Aussie potatoes. Then we slice and cook them to perfection using healthier oils with 75% less saturated fat. So then I had a look at the oils in which it was cooked in. In the thinly cut, these chips are cooked in sunflower and or canola oil. Now we compare that to our crinkle cut and look at the oil these are cooked in: sunflower oil, canola oil. So again, the exact same. So I did a little bit more digging to see exactly how this had 75% less saturated fat. And if we look here closely, in the small text under no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, 75% less lower in saturated fat when compared to potato chips cooked in 100% palm oil. So these chips aren't cooked in palm oil. So these are compared to chips only cooked in palm oil, not 75% less than these. So if you bought these, you'd be buying these, just thinly cut. Maybe we're a little naive to think that anything deep fried and in a tinfoil bag is a good choice. But Smith's and many other companies are labeling their products with these hyped words and packaging to create this illusion that us, the consumer, is making a healthier and better choice. So if they're thinly cut chips with 75% less saturated fat is no better than their crinkle cut version, then what other alternatives are there that we can make so we can still get that savory hit and put better options in our school, in our kids' school lunch boxes, and enjoy at the movies, etc. Something that I'll often consume and will often take to the movies if I haven't quite accounted for the popcorn or the chips, because it was a bit of a spontaneous date with the girlfriend. Rice cakes. Now I'll get let's dive into the nutritional information and break it down for you again. I'll pop these nutritional information panels back up in the corners for you, and I'll put this one down here. So again, looking at the average quantity per 100 grams for the sake of comparison. Now the serving size, pretty much similar, 24 grams, and for that you get about 3 rice cakes. Now energy or calories per 100 gram quantity is 1680 kilojoules, as opposed to in the Smith's chips 2290. Now that works out to be a little over 400 calories. Protein, we have 7.9 grams. Fat, 8.4, 1.5 of which is saturated fat, so a lot less also than the Smith's chips. Carbohydrates, we have 70.1 grams. Now you can enjoy these on their own. They are seasoned with flavors. They come in a variety, about 4 or 5 different varieties. So here I have sweet chili and sour cream. Off the top of my head, I know they have salt and vinegar, because that's also one I heavily consume. But you can eat those on their own. I'll I'll break them up and put them into a Ziploc bag if I take them to the movies or out with me on the road. But you can also turn it into a meal. For instance, I had tuna. You can put tuna on them, just any old plain tuna, or you can be a little bit more inventive and creative. Add salmon, you can add cheese, tomato, what have you. The possibilities are endless. It's all entirely up to your imagination. So there you have it, guys. I hope you've taken something away from this today. You know, be sure to go and dive that little bit deeper when trying to seek a healthier or better choice. Look past the health claims and the packaging. Look at the nutritional panels or the information and compare the average quantity per 100 grams. Put it up against their flagship products or vice versa, and don't be misled by, you know, great marketing. I hope this, again, thank you for joining me. It's always an absolute pleasure talking with you guys, and I look forward to joining the discussion with you guys below. So be sure to comment, let me know what you thought, let me know what you learnt, and what would you like me to see further discussed next, you know, whether that be a food or a product. You know, obviously I do these things to further assist you. You know, I know we're only 2 videos into it, but could we make this into a show? So my question for you today is, what could we name this show? What could we call it so we have something to roll with? Again, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.